You ain't nothing but a hound dog. The cry.
Into right, well hit. Back at the wall. It's off the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes Berkman. Freeze has tied it. 7-7. Unbelievable. Freeze hits it in the air to center. We will see you tomorrow.
Lights go out and I can't be seen.
To the Spurs foul. Cincinnati goes for the 3 right away. Just attack the basket. James catches, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His 3-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
A 3 wins the series. It's Lillard. He got the shot off. And the Blazers win the series for the first time in 14 years. Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Malcolm Butler, who almost made the phenomenal play that wound up in Percy's arms. There are flags on the field for a celebration. Amazing. Bases loaded. 2 out. Hard hit into right. Back at the wall. Tie game. Big Poppy. The grand slam. Ezekiel Elliott, and he's got an opening. Elliott, off to the races. Can they catch him? No, they can't. Touchdown.
Ducks rush only 3. Winston has all day. Tries to escape, circles back, still alive. Loses the football, ball comes out. It's scooped up by the Ducks. And Tony Washington streaking to the end zone.
Remember, a block kick can go the other way, too. He's got to be careful and get it up.
On the way. No, returned by Chris Davis. Davis goes left. Davis gets a block. Davis has another block. Chris Davis. No flags.
Chris Davis, War Eagle, everyone, and welcome my co-host, Mr. Justin Hicks. How are you doing this evening, sir? What is this, the 18th of 2022? We got plenty of news to talk about. Don't forget, also tonight we have our very first throwback moment. We are going to recap UFC's 2 of the greatest ever. I don't say greatest ever, but 2 greats of the UFC, Chuck Liddell and Dynasty Beach Bad Boy. Tito Ortiz. Boy, I remember how bad people hated Tito. God, Tito could get on his man. He was a heel before. He was a heel dude. He should have been in wrestling. I'm telling you, man.
Did they try TNA little? Not him and Chuck, but him and Rampage. I
think it was. I think he would do like some little small stuff to do. Like, dude was easy to hate. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
He was easy to hate, man. As they said in over in the IOW page. That they're allowing us to run some of our content through. When I post this over there, they said, "Well, man, like the couple of comments I got was, I miss big rivalries like that in the UFC."
Yeah.
That's what sucks, man. Is the UFC has gone downhill a lot. They don't have these big rivalries they used to have, and Mr. Gene here says that Tito was in TNA. So
There we go. Yeah, thank Mean Gene on the one. No, you're right. Like we was talking just a second right before we got on here, and I mentioned a fighter. I believe it's Charles Oliveira. And I was telling you about his. I've only seen about 3 matches or 3 fights now, maybe even 2. But he's an animal, and I'm like, well, who's his rival? He don't have any really. He's a very nice guy, which is great. That's awesome. But like, we don't really have guys. I don't know. Connor would be the only one that gets all the heat, I guess, and I guess. What's his name? Colby Covington.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool, especially being a pro wrestling fan. You know, that's kind of cool for us to watch. But there ain't as many, guys ain't showing as much heat in UFC anymore, and they got the whole Reebok deal, so you're kind of limited in pay, I feel. So yeah, UFC's dropped off a little bit for me, but I agree with you 100% there. This was awesome, and these guys are like pioneers of the sport, if you ask me. Like I was a little kid watching Tito, especially because, like you said, you just draw whether you love him or hate him, and most hated him. You wanted to see him fight one way or the other, kill somebody or get killed.
Right. Mr. Gene says UFC needs rivalries again. It does need rivalries. Everyone else, before we dive into our throwback moment of the night, we're going to talk a little bit about today's sports. If you're a first-time watcher, we cover everything from baseball to AEW to college football to it all. So if it's sports and it's interesting, we're going to cover it. We're going to start the night off. What I have pulled up here, let's see. We're going to dive into the MLB power rankings of before the going into the All-Star break. Mr. Justin Hicks did remind me tonight is the Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
If you want to watch that, let's see, what is it? Who is that guy? He's the 2-time winner. He's going for the 3rd in this one.
Pete Alonso, Polar Bear Pete Alonso. Yeah.
Yes, he could be a 3-time winner in a row here, if I'm not mistaken. Right? He's won the other 2.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he had this big, nice. I guess it was a chain. I don't know. I want to say last year, but man, that thing, it was worth his because I think he's still. I could be wrong because again, I don't keep up with baseball as much. This is a fun weekend though, Home Run Derby. There's nothing like it. Fun kickoff to the week. But that chain costs more than his payday. That time, I was like, man, y'all need to pay the guy. But no, it's going to be cool. I think Acuna from the Braves was talking a little smack. So that's fun, man. That's fun. This Home Run Derby should be a blast to watch. I think it comes on about 8, maybe. It's about the same time as Raw.
I would much rather probably watch the Home Run Derby than watch Monday Night Raw. That should put me to sleep these days. Let's go ahead and jump into these power rankings. Number 1 is still at the Yankees. The Yankees right now are 62-26. They're holding that power ranking at number 1 pretty good. They're a pretty good baseball team this year. ESPN, this is also the ESPN rankings, is where ESPN has the power rankings. The historical juggernaut, they say to this point in the season. The team hasn't had a losing streak more than 3 games since May 23rd. Ranked among the top baseball teams in the ERA, OPS, and home runs. Yankees are a force to be reckoned with. Coming in at number 2, you got the Astros with a 57-30 record. They are pushing the ranking at number 2. Also, another powerful team this year that I have noticed has been the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are 57-30, pulling at number 3. The Mets are holding strong at number 4, 55-34. The Mets are also a good team this year. Mr. Thompson Thomas can't stand the Mets. He's just like me. Number 5, Atlanta Braves. The Braves can still pull it off this year. I got them going deep into the playoffs for sure. You also got the San Diego Padres at number 6. Boston comes at number 7 with a 47-42 record. They're kind of wishy-washy, you ask me. You got the Brewers, who I'm not going to give no credit to. Fuck the Milwaukee Brewers. They are 49-40. I just can't do it. I can't like them, man. And now you got Philadelphia Phillies in at number 9 at 46-43. And the greatest team in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals, roll in at number 10 now. They moved up a whopping 6 spots from last week. They are 48-43. Also, Albert Pujols is supposed to be in the home run derby.
Yes, his last crack at it, basically. Someone else is in it, another big-time veteran. I shouldn't say big-time because Albert's one of the all-time great hitters, if you ask me. But I was seeing they were going to face off in like a round because they have rounds. Well, they've always had rounds. They've always had rounds, of course, but like it could be Polar Bear Pete taking on Acuna. I think that's the matchup tonight, maybe.
Very well. I don't think Albert goes deep into the home run derby. I'm just going to be honest with you guys.
How sweet if he brings it home, though, Tom.
Oh, it would be awesome. They say here that what has happened to the Cardinals offense, despite producing all-stars, Nolan Arenado, Mr. Goldie, the team has not produced. They've produced very few runs as of late. This is the Cardinals of last year. Cardinals of last year had great pitching, great outfielding, great base coverage. When it come to scoring and actually hitting runs, it just wasn't there. That's where they've been lacking for a minute. You also have Albert Pujols. When he's your best hitter over the course of a week, that's probably not a good thing. He went 6 for 16 over a 7-game span, but that didn't make up for the struggling. Tommy Edman has not been doing good. St. Louis may need to run like one of the went last year before it's all said and done. If they can probably, I just don't. I hope that we can pull it off and go deep, but I don't know. You got the Twins coming in at number 11. They are shit. I lost them. Where'd they go? They disappeared. The Twins disappeared. They are 49-41. They was previous ranked 11. They're still holding strong. Tampa Bay comes in at 12. Seattle at 13. Toronto Jays. I'm sorry, I almost said Maple Leafs. Toronto Blue Jays at number 14. You got the San Francisco at number 15. The Cleveland Guardians, with the stupidest name in baseball, comes in at number 16. You got 17. The Baltimore Orioles. Miami Marlins are at 18, which is shocking. You got Chicago White Sox at 19, and the Rangers coming at 20. We're going to hold it there. We're not covering the rest of the league.
Yeah, my team's probably dead last.
Where's the Reds?
Yeah.
Let's see.
30 or 29. Where we at?
Oh, they are 27, actually.
Oh, okay. We've jumped up probably 3 spots then.
Yeah, well, it says the previous rank. Actually, yeah, you went up a spot from last week. It was 28th. There, we got a 33 and 55 ranking. It says once again, Cincinnati is flirting with emerging from last place after a week sweep of the playoff. You know, they have been horrible. What was it? They lost I remember they losing a bunch of games at the beginning of the season because
we won our first 2. We won our first 2, and then we was like 21-2.
Was it St. Louis? I think was it them that St. Louis ended up putting like 18 runs on or 20 runs or some shit?
Yeah, guarantee it. Without a lot of teams I've seen, there really is no bright spot. You know, we've traded a lot of guys off that I'm like, what are we doing? What is the grand scheme plan? Like, what do we do here?
Michael Matos is a Mets fan?
He is a New York. Hey,
no!
They've been hot this year, man. This could be the year. Subway Series is going to be fun. Them and the Yankees, because you mentioned what Yankees are 1 and they're 4. Bada bing in the house. Hey, I like Gene's team.
Let me just say, I think Gene pulls for any team that's from Canada.
He does. That's they need a football squad. I'm surprised he's not a Buffalo Bills guy. I'm just saying that for Gene, of course. But I mean, the Packers work. We'll take the Packers. I know he's a Packer fan. But Canada, we got to respect him and love him because he's on guard for thee. Yeah. No, man, that's last night was actually the start of the MLB draft, and Matt Holliday, former great Cardinal, or I thought he was, his son went number 1 overall to, I believe, the Orioles, Jackson Holliday.
Hey, speaking of which, we're about to get on football, but before we dive into the NFL, did you happen to see Mark Henry's son squat 600 pounds at the University of Alabama?
I did not, but
the fool's at the University of Alabama. He was 600 pounds on his shoulder, man, like it was nothing. Dude said, boom. I just shook my head.
That's all you can do. The House of Pain. That's what, or no, the Hall of Pain. Sorry, the Hall
Yeah.
of Pain. And
Oh,
man, that
man.
is how is he not going to Texas though? I feel like that's a carnal sin for Alabama. We got all this NIL stuff going on. Nick Saban can throw some cheddar his way,
Well, let's go and dive into a little bit of NFL. First bit of news I got up for the NFL is they have done the ratings on some of the receivers and tight ends. The receivers are led by Don Faith Adams. The number one tight end was Travis Kelce, well deserved, I believe. The Mad ratings are also becoming a joke. I'm starting to hate that game that they don't improve some of the other shit.
They definitely do. They definitely need to. I agree, 100%.
Let's see. Do you want to talk about Ron and Bobber that died, the running back?
Oh man,
that died of heat stroke.
That was super. This has been weeks back now, but I mean, it's finally come to the forefront because of his cause of death. I got to see him actually when I was, I think I was a junior in high school, junior or senior in high school. That was my Christmas present that year. And I was a junior actually because the next year got to see the Bears, and he played for the Cowboys and the Bears. Kind of funny, but this man was. He was running like a madman. Me and my dad are there, Carolina Panthers, closest team to us. And he was their entire offense. Tito was playing at the time. He pulled a hamstring, I believe, and went to the locker room pretty early, so we didn't get to see as much of him. But Marion Barber was just amazing, and he became a top running back for my dad to watch. He was like, man, I just love the way he runs. He's kind of small, but he's intense. And that really sucks for him. When I first heard it, I honestly thought it was CTE, but there was nothing about him like working out or heat stroke or being outside or anything like that. So very sad, man, because he was a very talented running back. And he made Dallas, they had a nice little playoff run there. Actually,
they did.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Trevor Lawrence next year, or maybe Zach Wilson, the second-year quarterbacks that are rolling in? I know why you're laughing about Zach Wilson, but how do you feel about Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson? I mean, can either one of these guys do anything, or is it just a bunch of hype?
I honestly, so let me put it this way: coaching matters, maybe more so in the NFL than any sport. I know that sounds fun. It matters in every sport, of course, but there's so much on college and NFL coaches, so much heat, right? Because there's so much revenue. You got to crank them wins out. If you don't hit a 5 or a 6 game win total for the season, sometimes I know that's very low for some teams, but you're gone. So this year, the Jacksonville Jaguars have Doug Peterson from Philly, who won the Super Bowl a few years back with Nick Foles. But I just wonder, how is Trevor Lawrence going to fit in that system? I'm a little concerned. I thought Urban was a stupid hire when they first did it.
I've been concerned ever since he went to fucking Jacksonville.
With Trevor, I agree. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the college, as you mentioned, the hype. But I don't think he can live up to what this boy was portrayed to be the next. Andrew Luck was obviously the next Peyton Manning, but he was the next Peyton Manning because Andrew kind of, as good as he was, he didn't have a very long career. He fizzled out. And that's a hard thing to hold over your head, man. That's hard.
You know what I respect so much about Andrew, though?
What's that?
Andrew, it was just like, my time's over, I'm gone.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. He was getting killed. He was getting killed, and he's a very, very intelligent. He has some kind of engineering degree, so money or any of that work is not an issue. So I was. It's sad to see him go in a way, but I'm not a Colts fan, so I was cool with whatever. But no, I agree. These guys, if they are getting obliterated out there like he was, he had didn't he have like a slashed spleen or something one time? He got hit and messed his spleen or something up.
Yeah, he got the shit pounded on him while he was in Indianapolis. It was horrible.
He would run. He was tough.
And they wouldn't get him a line either.
No, they finally got the line, and he's like, "I'm out, boys."
He's like, "I'll see y'all, man. I ain't trying to stick around. Not even for the whole season." Remember, he quit mid-season. He was like, "See ya."
That poor Colts. Man.
He's like, "Who the hell wants to live in Indiana?" Is probably what he was saying.
No, I agree with that. But talking about Trevor, I don't know how he's going to fit in that scheme, especially with all the hype, as we just meant, like Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck. They throw him in that category. It ain't happened so far in the NFL, and I do hope he does well because, I mean, he's a young guy. Zach Wilson, the lady killer, I'll just put it that way, the MILF hunter, whatever you want to call him, I do have high hopes for him. He has, again, talking about coaches, Robert Salah is his head coach. I don't know who his offensive coordinator is. I want to say it's LaFleur, the Green Bay coach's brother, Matt and Mike LaFleur. And if that's the case, Zach is – the Jets killed it in the draft this year. I feel like they had one of, if not the best NFL draft. They still need a couple targets, but I feel like from year 2, Zach Wilson is going to mature just like his ladies. And he's going to be like a fine quarterback out there. There's more upside, in my opinion, for Zach Wilson than there is Trevor Lawrence. He just had more games for me.
I feel that.
What do you think about Zach? Do you have?
I think he's a good quarterback. He just put in a bad situation last year. I mean, the Jets are terrible. I mean, come on, who the fuck's going to save the Jets? It's going to take more than one person. That franchise was. We're talking about a team that just lost, what was it, 10, 11, 12, 13 games or some shit the season before that? And so, like,
it might have been more than that because I think he was, second pick, third pick.
Yeah.
And honestly, I said, man, if I'm the Jets, I ain't taking Zach Wilson first. I'm going to cover. I'm either going to trade back and try to get some more picks, or I'm going to do something. I ain't taking a quarterback first because we need so many other things. But Zach's their guy, and hopefully, I'm not a Jets fan or anything, but it's kind of sad to see him struggle so much. So I hope he.
Well, I got a few buddies that likes the Jets, so I would like to see him do decent, but I don't want to see him win at all because I'm a Kansas City fan.
Of course.
So, speaking of Kansas City, let's go ahead and talk about Patrick Mahomes. Buy or sell? Is Patrick Mahomes going to do better this year without Hill there? Is it going to make him a better quarterback because he's not going to be so reliant on Tyreek?
I think it will, honestly, because you just mentioned it. I think Tyreek is going to regress, obviously, because the situation in Miami. I'm not knocking Tua, but he's not Pat Mahomes. But they've cornered Pat with some guys now. They have Valdez Scantling from Gene's Green Bay Packers. They have my guy Juju, which I'm cool with letting go. I honestly wanted to keep Bud Dupree over him 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, we'll keep Juju, and then he just leaves the next year. But I think he's gonna be big. And who else? They got Hardman, I believe. Is he still there? McCole Hardman, and also Kelsey. You just mentioned best tight end in the league, in my opinion. I don't have to like him, but he's very good. Him and George Kittle, and maybe Waller if you want to throw him in there, top 3. But I feel like Kelsey is the best receiving tight end, and that's all. That's what Pat's looking for. He's not necessarily looking for pass block because he can be mobile if he has to. So I look for Kansas City to do honestly better this year offensively, and they kept. What's the coordinator's name? Good Lord. I know Andy Reid's boy, Eric Bieniemy. They kept Eric Bieniemy, and that's going to be big for Pat, I feel. And, man, they could make another run at the Super Bowl this year.
We'll go ahead and get one last question in, and then we'll go ahead and get off NFL for a second. Does Wilson improve Denver this year?
I think he has to. right? I mean, going from Seattle where they had, again,
I feel like he almost just changed one team for another average team. Is all I feel like he did.
See, I feel they're very average too, especially giving up. They gave their tight end up. That's your safety net in the NFL. No Fant, and I know a lot of people that are very high on this. They're loving the fact that Russell's a couple Denver fans, and I'm like, why are you a fan of Denver in the first place? But in all seriousness, though, like, is it really going to be that big? Because you also, in the same division, you just mentioned Mahomes and Kansas City, but I'm looking at Justin Herbert and the Chargers, man, with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. Justin Herbert can do stuff on his own. They revamped the defense with J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack. So everybody's saying it's a 3-horse race and putting Denver in there, but you also got to look at the Raiders and getting Devontae Adams. You just mentioned Madden has him as the best receiver. So Derek Carr.
Is he though? Is he though?
I think he was in Green Bay, but I think he definitely takes a step back in. I still want to say Oakland, but Vegas. I feel it's going to be hard for any team other than hockey, because aren't the Knights pretty? They're pretty darn good in some hockey, aren't they? In the NHL, the Las Vegas Knights.
Okay.
Average. I kind of feel like that's Vegas's. Honestly, just because of the atmosphere, it is party town USA, and you look at what's happened already with Henry Ruggs from Alabama. The drunk driving, killed a lady, unfortunately. There's just a lot of trouble you can get into in Las Vegas. It's Sin City, man. So they're paying Devontae a lot of money. I'm not saying Derek Carr's out here acting crazy and getting all slammered and trying to run routes or anything, but some of these other boys are. And I'm not saying Adams is, but it's going to be a hard city to compete in. You got everything you got any kind of entertainment you want, betting, of course, movies, plays, Cirque du Soleil, whatever, comedy,
women, and illegal narcotics.
That's a big, like.
I mean, look at the Raiders. They've already been a disaster since moving to Vegas. It was like the worst thing you could have done for a football team was put them in Vegas.
I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like Roger Goodell was almost kind of forcing, and I guess Mark Davis, but he really wanted those teams in Los Angeles, and we got them there now. Unfortunately, I think they need one. They don't need 3 or 2 or 3. But
I don't think a city don't need but one team. That's always been my opinion. Always been my opinion. And it's always like Los Angeles, New York, and Florida. They want to pack them full of teams.
Yep.
Drives me nuts. Look how many teams Florida has. It's stupid. It's stupid how many teams Florida has.
There's Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami. I feel like there's another one. I swear I do. Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami.
Dolphins. No, you guys said the Dolphins, but
I swear I thought there was 4 for a second. But no, there's three NFL franchises right there. You're right. They do it in every sport, it seems like.
Well, when you look at the baseball franchises,
you
add the football franchises, and then you add the college footballs, and then you add the hockey team, and then you add, it's stupid like how many they have. It's just stupid. And then you add the NBA team down there, and then you add, it's just dumb, man. It's dumb.
Absolutely.
We're going to get off this. We're going to go ahead and move along. We'll go ahead and jump over to our wrestling segment. Before we dive too deep into any of the wrestling talk, let's go ahead and talk about this. This apparently is Ric Flair's official announcement for his last match. I seen a thing where he said, WWE, I'm coming after one of your very own. I guess that probably means the fact that Jeff Jarrett now works for WWE. Jay Lethal, I could give a shit less about this. I can tell you that right now. I hate Jay Lethal. I've never been a Jay Lethal fan. I cringe every time they bring him on AEW. After all the speaking out movement shit, it looks like a bad taste. Then you go and you put Ric Flair and Andrade over here together, and that's just stupid also. That's pretty predictable considering that he's married to Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
I seen the picture of Rick lacing his boots. His face was blood red.
Yeah.
His boots wouldn't even lace correctly. He missed the lace way at the bottom down here. And everybody was roasting the shit out of him like he's about to have a heart attack right before then. This is just pathetic. This is Rick broke, is what this is.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a money grab. And you'd think with we were talking podcast before, like wrestling podcast before, Conrad, the son-in-law, Conrad Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a millionaire. Help your daddy-in-law out, man. Help your daddy-in-law out, boy. Come on.
He's probably sitting around going, well, Rick, you probably shouldn't have given away all those watches now, huh?
In that whole Conrad Thompson, what is I forget his podcast network, ad-free shows.
What is it? He's on a bunch of podcasts, man. It's stupid how many he's on.
He's taken time away to promote this match. I had no idea. I don't think any of us knew. Is this going to be a tag match, or are they just in the corner?
I don't know if they're in the corner, if it's a tag match.
Because it did say, and, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal with Karen. So it should, I guess it's a safe. I mean, how do you feel about Jeff Jarrett being the guy?
I don't give a damn about Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett could have died with TNA for all I give a damn. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. Jeff Jarrett is like that horrible promoter that only puts himself over because he was a booker and a wrestler.
Yeah,
you can't book and be a wrestler, man. I mean, it's kind of hard for you to say, "Oh, well, I have the TNA belt from this time to this time, and I beat such and such this time and this time." When you book in your fucking self, so no matter how bad your performance was, you was always going to be the guy. I mean, that's just what Jeff did with himself. He made himself the guy in Impact. I'm not saying that he was a bad worker. I mean, he was a decent worker for what it was, but he was just a mid-carder, man. That's all he was. Mid-card guy.
Mid-card. I kind of feel like his shine. Now, his character, the whole, I guess the gimmicks he was stuck with, which he had a few, the whole don't piss me off gimmick was kind of, but it was comedic too after a point. Now I enjoy Jeff, honestly. They came to as part of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He was with Jim Cornette or Jim Cornette's promotion at that time. They came to Welch, West Virginia. Very, very small town at this point. Nothing's happening. But there is a Polaroid picture from early 90s. I don't know when, with Jeff Jarrett busted open that we had somewhere. Like he's just getting creamed in the face. Well, we should save that for another podcast, I guess, after dark. But
Jim Cornette was like, "That's how you really do it. It ain't that outlaw bullshit."
But no, they're in the. I guess my mom or someone had taken the picture. I'm a baby, I don't remember it, but seeing that picture so many times, and now it's gone. So I guess that shows how much I really love Jeff. But nah, man, like. He is kind of what you said. He's that mid-card guy. But I'm wondering if this is like a safety thing or it was kind of the lead up to this. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And when I seen that WWE thing, I was like, man, is he going to pick Dolph or Miz? Because doesn't he have kind of a relationship with those guys? Like they would go to Browns and Cavaliers games. I don't know. It's weird to me. We'll see how it turns out. I just hope Rick don't die. That's all we can ask for.
Also, Big E is feeling great despite full recovery setback. They don't, as far as they know, the doctors have said that he will make a complete recovery from the broken neck he suffered during the match, despite recent setbacks. So it'd be good to see Big E bounce back from his things. Also, Pat McAfee signed a multi-deal extension with WWE. WWE social media influencer Logan Paul. And you also have the MMA prospect links multi-year WWE deal. So you also got the WWE McMahon stuff that's going on. The CEO, the $3 million hush money that's still being talked about. There's other lawyer firms that's investigating. We'll have to see how all that plays out. Jumping on around, we'll jump to AEW for 2 hot seconds before we jump into, because I'm ready to get into this UFC fight. You got to me, AEW's doing still good. They got All Out that's coming up. It's in fucking Chicago. I'm very disappointed in that. I'm sick of them sending. Man, it's like the 7th pay-per-view they've done in Chicago. I'm about to pull my hair out over that because we were supposed to had All Out last year, and we didn't get it because UFC was in town in St. Louis.
Okay.
And Tony told us, because me and Patrick went to Rampage, and when we were there, Tony had come out and talked to the fans and told us, you know, I know we were supposed to give y'all the pay-per-view, but I couldn't do it because UFC was in town. And I don't think we could have matched them. So to make it up for it, he gave us like a 3.5-hour show that night for Rampage. You know, like the little $30 tickets we bought. We said it was in the arena for 3.5 hours watching this kick-ass show that no one else is seeing but us, you know, because it's not being taped or anything. We're just getting all these kick-ass matches. He just keeps sending people out to have matches. And then he made the Young Bucks stick around for like 20, 30 minutes after the cameras went off because they were being dicks. And he was like, well, since you're being dicks, you can stay out here with all these people and take pictures and sign stuff. Turn around, went back to the back, and I was like, that was kind of cool. And but he never gave us the pay-per-view in Chicago. The only thing I guess I might not can get too mad about, maybe if they're in Chicago when they pass back through, they'll stop back through in St. Louis again. So, but
yeah, man, because it's how far is I mean, it's all the Midwest right there. Like I just do the Midwest trips, hit you guys up, hit Chicago.
People are starting to see that too, and they're starting to get a lot of towns are starting to get aggravated because he's not coming. They're not going over there for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you got to spread yourself out. Every once in a while, you got to go do a pay-per-view in Los Angeles or something. You know, go do one in New York or something. I mean, Chicago can't be your main sales spot. So,
and Daly's Place is the other, which I mean, I think they either own or rent. That's kind of Jaguar territory. I can get that because you own that venue or you're renting it or whatever. But Chicago, every single I'm with you. It seems like every big time pay-per-view, we're here in Chicago, Illinois. I'm like, man, really? Again?
Again? CM Punk's like, part of my contract. They had to go to Chicago 12 times if you wanted to get me. So I could just leave my house and go down the road and work.
I kind of maybe that what is it? His foot. Maybe it'll be feeling better by that point. What were some of the matches you guys got to see that we didn't on TV? What was something?
My God, it was insane, dude. They gave us so many. I got them all posted. I mean, they gave us so many. It was we ended up getting Darby that night. We got the Ass Boys, and I mean, it was a bunch of people. Man, he just kept sending. At first we thought, okay, well, maybe we'll get to see like maybe this person, because it was a Rampage we went to, but we've pretty much seen the whole roster. I think the only person that wasn't there was MJF.
Yeah.
And Jericho wasn't there the first go around, but the rest of them pretty much got sent out there, and all had Sammy and everybody. So,
yeah,
it's pretty cool. So, Dynamite was huge. Like I said, Dynamite was huge when we went to Dynamite. So it was. I've not been to me. It's the best wrestling shows I've been to. So, in my opinion,
I got to go. That's where I met my buddy Rick, who's actually responsible for me meeting a lot of people in this wrestling, the belt communities, and that's how kind of me and you got together through the panty dropper Brandon Randall, who we send love to, of course. No, we met at AEW in Charleston. Kind of the same thing. It was Kenny and the Bucks stayed out late. And they promised Charleston, West Virginia pay-per-view. I'm like, you guys are high. There ain't nobody coming to Charleston for no pay-per-view. I mean, the fans would, but
Jim Cornette swears one of the hardest places to sell out is Savannah, Georgia.
Really?
The other night, because they was just in Savannah.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the Cornette podcast, and he said, "Good luck selling out, damn Savannah, Georgia." He said that even WCW couldn't sell out Savannah, Georgia.
Wow, that seems like the heartland South too, Georgia.
He said there's something about it. It's hard to sell out down there. Like people just don't give a shit about it that much, And I get that because I kind of feel like that's how like Birmingham, Alabama is. Like as big as wrestling is in Alabama, people will go to it and people will be interested in it. But it's just like the crowds are not super pumped there, and when you are there, you see like a bunch of empty seats over. You're like, well, damn, I can't believe that many empty seats are up there in the corner.
Yeah.
And then you sit there and you're like, damn, the crowd is dead as shit. But then compared to like St. Louis, like where I went to an AEW show, and when you get out of your damn car, you can hear the damn fans chanting AEW. And we're parked 2 damn blocks away, getting out of a parking deck. So like there's a huge, huge difference in the atmosphere, man. it's like night and day. I couldn't stand watching shows in Alabama. It was draining, man.
That makes sense. I think after the WCW fall off, drop off, all that kind of these cornerstones in the South, they're like, oh well, we're done. We ain't watching WWE.
Well, it's been there for so long, man. Like they've had so many of those ragtag circus shows that's come through in there so many times. They don't even, some places down there probably don't give a shit about wrestling.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So, and Cornette knows, good God, this man is little ticket sales up from 1941 at a random Tupelo, Mississippi show just for fun because he's that big of a fan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive into our UFC fight, or our throwback moment of the night, the UFC fight between Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell. Let me just say, for all the copyright assholes watching out there that's for some reason likes to bite me in the ass every time I try anything like this, we do not own the copyrights. We do not claim to own the copyrights. Dana White and UFC owns every bit of them. We do not copy. We do not profit. We do this for fun. I don't make a cent off re-showing Chuck Liddell. Damn, what is that? What is that? Probably was a 13-year-old fight, 15-year-old fight. That fight's old.
I think it's almost 18 years.
18 years old.
Like
yeah.
04.
Yeah, come on, man. We will have a overlay on it with a little bit of background music. Me and Mr. Justin here is going to be in the background. You will not see our faces, but you can hear us talking back and forth as the fight progresses. We got 2 clips here. Of course, we had to split them up. We're going to jump into round 1 now of the UFC fight between these 2 guys. Here we go.
The fighters come to the center of the octagon.
Questions from the red corner. Any questions from Tito's corner? Fight clean, fight fair, fight hard. Let's go.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure you unmute yourself, Justin.
Here we go.
I have never heard a crowd like this before.
Those fans were feeling it.
Everyone is on their feet for this.
Hey, man. Like, you listen to how crunk they are. It sounds like a wrestling event.
It does.
The greatest referee of all time. The bad boy, and here we go. The friendship is over.
Aware of today.
Tito has said he wants to stand and trade with Chuck. Let's see if that's the case.
I love this.
Chuck's being a little more aggressive with his stand-up. He's moving in. He tends to be more of a counter-puncher, but he's pressing the action a little bit.
Those nice jabs there.
5-minute rounds.
I don't know who the hell that is on commentating.
So they will.
But he fought both Tito before in Chuck.
Oh my, listen to the chants.
Maybe.
Oh, Tito.
I believe it's going to be before. But I'm not sure. Don't quote me.
Those fans. Tito.
Will help us score the fight tonight. And he was with us last UFC in the attempts to score. Never made it past the first round. We sure hope this one does tonight.
You see, Chuck went for a shot to the body. The stories of those guys training was that when Chuck really hurt Tito was to the body, that he threw body shots and he actually caused Tito to stop the training session.
Tito certainly, Randy, does not look uncomfortable taking the center of the octagon here and moving in on the distance.
No, he doesn't. He's got his hands up nice and high. He's moving his head. He's changing his levels. He's got a nice low shot, which is making Chuck wonder about when that takedown might come. He's doing a good job. There's a half shot.
Look at the smile on Tito's face. They are both well prepared because the winner heads back up the mountain for another run at the peak, and the loser looks down at the pieces of shattered glory. That was a quote I read coming into this fight, and it's perfectly stated.
Tito tried to take Chuck down after Chuck glanced him with a very nice left hook. That's one of Chuck's nicest punches, a looping left hook.
Well, Tito has always said that he'll go toe-to-toe with Chuck, and Chuck has always contended that Tito will not have the guts to go toe-to-toe. I don't know if it's guts or lack of a good game plan, though, if he does choose to do so.
Well, I think maybe he has a little confidence. His teammate, Quentin Jackson, beat Chuck by going toe-to-toe with him. I had some success going toe-to-toe with him. I'm sure he's analyzed those fights and thinks that maybe he can get off and get down the middle, too.
Do you think that the key to striking with Chuck is to back him up?
I think the key, he backs up and waits and draws you in.
That kick looked like that was kind of low. That was like a nut shot almost.
And if you've got to beat him to the punch there and get off before he does. But this is different for him. He's pressing. He's moving forward more than he usually does.
Well, Randy, you certainly outstruck the striker when you fought Chuck Liddell, so it has been done before.
Oh, what an overhand.
Dangerous knockout power. Both attempting for an opportunity to engage.
Let's just be clear. I wouldn't want to fight either one of these assholes.
Sold-out crowd.
Still to this day.
Still to this day. Even though they're both way past their
big straight right, just missed.
I love that little counter jab.
Everyone seems to believe if Chuck wins, it'll be a quick hit. Bingo, bango, done.
Well, Tito does have a good jaw. He took a tremendous knee from Yuki Kondo, took a big right hand from Ken Shamrock and recovered. He's got a good chin.
Know where he can be. Ring away. Or off.
There's a takedown attempt. Nice counter by Chuck. Chuck gets him off balance a little bit.
And a slip by Tito. Now, you have said before, Randy, that Chuck's takedown defense is excellent.
Nice right hand by
big
Tito.
shot by Tito.
There it was, yeah.
Chuck's sprawl is pretty legendary.
This first round,
his takedown defense is very well, but even more impressive if you do take him down is his ability to pop right back up. Uses the cage very well and comes back to his feet.
Pretty
Nice
good.
inside
Three
leg kick.
5-minute rounds is what it was scheduled
Saw
for.
Chuck throw a nice left hook to the body.
3 5-minute
Straight
rounds.
jab by Chuck.
Man, that's it's like a tactical.
1 minute 5 seconds remains in round one. This fight is scheduled for 3 5-minute
What
rounds.
is it now? Now I think
Red
only
bitty cut on
championship
Tito's
rounds are 5
nose.
minutes, and
Randy, when you
Yeah.
fought these guys, who
Exhibitions
felt
are like
physically
3.
stronger?
Yeah, 3 5-minute.
I would have to
Still
say
the
Tito
same.
felt more physically
I was just
strong.
thinking,
And that was a long
time,
fight, 5 rounds.
I wasn't paying
A
attention.
lot of grueling punishment he took and managed to stay in there round after round. He's a very strong kid.
Counter
Very
right.
strong.
Who's the harder puncher?
Chuck.
oh, and we'll go ahead and dive into our second one. We don't want to stop there.
There's a takedown attempt. Nice counter by Chuck. Chuck gets him off
Have to
balance a
re-unmute
little
yourself.
bit.
And a slip
Yeah.
by Tito. Now, you
I
have
dropped
said
the
before,
phone.
Randy, that Chuck's takedown defense is
do
excellent.
have-
Nice right
Oh.
hand by Tito.
But I'll get into that during the break.
Chuck's
or
sprawl
during
is
the
pretty legendary.
timeout
His
there.
takedown defense is very well, but even more impressive if you do take him down is his ability to pop right back up. Uses the cage very well and comes back to his feet.
Now, you
Nice
mentioned
inside
you
leg
weren't
kick.
big on Tito earlier,
saw Chuck
right?
throw a nice
So
left hook to the
were
body.
you an
Big
Iceman
straight jab by
Philadelphia?
Chuck.
Who was kind of
During this period, I
1 minute
probably
5
like Tito a
seconds
little bit more than I
remains in
did
round
Chuck.
one. This fight is scheduled for 3
Just because Tito
5-minute
talks so much
rounds.
shit.
Little bitty cut
that's
on
the
Tito's
thing
nose.
with Chuck. I'm not
Randy, when
meaning
you
this
fought
in
these
a
guys,
bad
who
way,
felt
but
physically stronger?
kind of a boring personality.
I would have to say Tito
Yeah.
felt more physically
good
strong.
guy.
And that was a long
I'll say
fight,
he's
5
bad,
rounds.
he's
A
not
lot
that,
of grueling punishment he
spit in your
took and
face
managed
type
to
of
stay in
guy
there
you
round
gotta-
after round.
gonna
He's
fear
a
when you
very
go to
strong
bed.
kid. Very strong.
Well, you might fear him.
Who's the harder puncher?
Because of his ass.
Chuck never really got a chance to hit me, but obviously he's got devastating
Liddell
knockout
knocked him
power.
back
He's
with that
demonstrated
overhand.
it time and time again.
Did Tito ever connect with you?
I know he never hit me
I
either.
think he's trying to
Check you out.
And again, I think that
Captain America, baby.
Yeah, he wasn't the one to throw the hat back in.
Oh, big right hand.
Oh,
That's that looping
Chuck,
overhand
yeah.
punch that he knocked out Alistair Overeem with.
little shit you did
Nice
again.
combination by Chuck and a good counter right hand by Tito.
Tito showed aggression. He returned right away.
here we go, Tommy.
Final seconds of round number 1.
Big right hand.
Confirmations by Liddell.
What is that?
I
What
love
is he
that.
doing?
Tito saying,
Tito laughed at him.
"You cannot damage me. You cannot hurt
Look
me."
at the nose. Look at
He got
the
himself in the fight. He stopped the fight.
Oh my God.
After Colin
I love
Yamasaki.
this one. Become and the best stitch man in the game. I had to write that down.
After Mario Yamasaki stopped that fight with Cabbage.
Stitch
Threw
Dream.
about 8 punches there.
Nice
He landed
kick.
at least 6 of them.
Oh, beautiful.
Those
Wow,
are some
and
great
Tito.
combinations.
I actually have a
One,
Nice
two,
right hand.
3. Miss. 4.
And then the kick.
Then the kick. Oh.
Tito
That
blocked
was
that kick, but he felt the
kick.
power.
It
But
was
look at him.
blocked, but I love the shove right there. Look at the bridge of the nose.
He seems all right.
It's a little scratched up there. It looks like
So
Chuck
does he.
really
Standing with him. He's
didn't
really
land
is he.
anything that close, but he did.
Eddie Bravo, you're scoring in round 1.
Well, Mike, despite the incredible intensity in the
Stab you in
arena,
the nose.
it was a very
That's a
uneventful
good
first
tactic.
round, except for the very end. Both
Eddie
fighters
Bravo.
being very cautious, showing tremendous respect for one another. I'm
And I
going to
think
give the
that's
round to
a fair
Chuck
score,
based on the
you
end of
know,
that round.
Eddie Bravo will check back with you in 5 minutes if the fight is still going on in 5 minutes. Liddell takes the center of the octagon, and I think with that flurry, I think all three of us agree. Randy?
No question about that.
So Chuck
that's
may
Randy
have
Couture
the lead in the judges' scorecards.
on commentating,
Good kick by Tito. That was very
which is a
nice.
legend itself.
I can't tell if they're yelling Chuck or Tito. Who can
Well,
tell?
it's not slick by Tito right
It is
there.
loud here.
He pissed Chuck
Tito
off,
covers
man.
up. Chuck
Here comes Chuck. He's mad as fuck. You bitch slapped me. You better hit me hard, he said. Tito's done.
Unbelievable.
Look at the intensity in the celebration.
With a vicious
That's
combination.
Nasty. He
That's
found his range at the
Listen
end
to
of
Joe
the first
Reagan.
round.
Well, the
He
vicious
came out, set it
combination.
in, and he landed a devastating combination and followed
I
right
don't want to
through.
do Fear Factor no more.
It
Fuck
is
that.
Got him in the corner and just shut it down.
Chuck
I call it
Liddell knocks
the
out
fury
Tito
because
Ortiz.
that was an onslaught of offensive
Wow.
firepower.
Chuck Liddell.
Look at the face.
Tito is
Fucked him up.
devastated. He is busted up. If you can get a close-up on
Tito's
Tito's
mad.
face,
He's mad that he let him get the best of him right there is what he's mad about.
It did, man. And Tito is very prideful. You know,
Yeah.
you mentioned it. He's the heel.
You shouldn't have laughed at him.
No, and pushed. I'm surprised Big John didn't turn around and say, "Hey."
I'm surprised he didn't turn around and fucking suplex his ass.
He's bigger than both guys. He's heavyweight category. These two are light. And Tommy, I actually did a couple stats at this time in the MMA total landscape. Tito was 11-4 again as his MMA career, but 9-3 in UFC, and Chuck was 10-3 in UFC, but 13-3 overall. Now they're both.
It was Rampage ended up whooping the shit out of Chuck.
It was. I think he had beat him. Rampage and Couture had both beat Chuck prior, so he had 3 losses. I don't know who the other loss. It could have been Rampage twice because I know Rampage eventually beat him again. But the career records are going to be 21-9-0. One site had it 21-8-0, but they didn't count that last. We did get a Tito. I don't know. We won't get into that right now. But 21-9-0 for Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz with a 19-12-1 record. And in this particular fight, this was the first one. 23 total strikes, power punches landed on Tito Ortiz from Chuck Liddell. I kind of feel like a good 16 of them right there was at the end. And Tito, 13 strikes, no takedowns. We did have some attempts, but Tito failed both times. The strike rate from Chuck versus Tito, almost 2-1, 1.77. Whatever, you get into numbers. Man, you like numbers, but it's kind of BS too. 1.77. How they evaluate that, but that's pretty cool stuff. Again, some career averages. Chuck, the career strike per minute ratio, 2.97 to Tito's 2.59. The takedown average, Chuck leads him in that also, 75%. So 3/4 of the time, if he's going to try to go at your legs or side, he's going to get you down 3 out of 4 times. And Tito, we've seen his failure twice. His is on the low end, is 35%. Now, the power punch absorption per minute, 2.88 from Tito and 2.71 from Chuck. Somehow Tito's defensive striking ability is a little bit better, 60% to Chuck's 56%.
Yeah, because that's based on how Chuck fights. Because Chuck is a striker, so Chuck tries to come at you a whole lot harder, so it gives him more of a counter punch option.
He's in there, he's going to go for a counter punch, and man, Tito, again, he can't get you down really, so he's going to be. It's going to be a firefight.
And that's what was crazy about that fight, because you just knew, like, okay, it's going to probably be rolling around on the mat bullshit, but they end up like standing the whole time. There was no takedowns.
Yeah. Again, this was what we say 18 years ago, almost 19 going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. You would think maybe this even goes 3 rounds, or 4, 5, I don't know, but it didn't go a full
It
2.
didn't. It didn't. It didn't. It didn't at all. I remember that fight. It was good. No one was disappointed. I remember in the house I was in that paid for the pay-per-view.
So I was a huge fan of Tito going against Shamrock, and I did not know this until I looked it up because this was for the fight. He actually lost to Frank Shamrock, but he whooped up on Ken, the most dangerous man on the planet. It seemed like every time, and they really had a dislike for each other. But I love both guys. I did want to say this real quick because in Tito's interview at the end, I don't think he put that in the clip, but I think there's a guy Lee Murray, and he's like he's been rattling off. So I know I lost to Chuck. He's tough. Respect for him. He's a friend. They were friends going into this fight. I assume.
That's why. That's why the hug happened. I mean,
yeah,
it's one of those things you want to beat the shit out of him, but then once it's over, it's like son of a bitch. Oh well. What can you do at that point? I mean, you done lost the match. You bit off a little bit more than you can chew. Let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. Let me try to pull this overlay up. Where'd it go? No, that's the background. What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Let me click it real quick. Do not forget to make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube. We are probably going to start running all of our shows on YouTube and not on Facebook anymore because of the simple fact that Facebook has got too sensitive about copyright issues. That they're hitting me with stuff that I posted 3 years ago. But next week on episode 3, we are covering ECW's One Night Stand. It will be the John Cena versus RVD for the WWE World Championship match. If Cena wins, we riot. That's what everybody said. It's probably one of the most hostile crowds that can come to memory. I mean, I know that ECW was hostile, but it was for real. Like if you let John Cena win this match,
we will
they're going to tear that arena apart.
Yeah, and those.
Like I say, it's easy to remember parts if you're a wrestling fan. The parts of like Cena always throws his shirt in the crowd. Throws his shirt in the crowd. They keep throwing it back at him. They didn't even want his shirt. That's pretty big. Like, you could easily sew that shirt. Like, that's an actual shirt that he wore to the ring at that pay-per-view. You know how much that shirt was probably worth? You know what I mean? That shirt was worth a lot.
If you still people collect things, you're a collector. I am too. I got football, baseball cards I'm never getting rid of unless they reach that $1 million mark. Not saying that's happening with Cena, but this was like a monumental. This is the second ECW standalone pay-per-view at that time, I think, because they did one a year prior, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was like ECW one night only, I think.
Yeah.
And
it was. The thing is that this was the only pay-per-view that WWE actually had a hand in that it was worth the shit, in my opinion. That as far as ECW goes, the only thing they did with ECW that was worth the shit, because the rest of the thing they made it soft, they made it stupid and goofy, and they just ran it into the ground, which was the whole point. That was the whole point of Vince buying it. It was the whole point of Vince buying WCW. He's not going to put over the brands that try to put him out of business. So of course he's going to make a mockery of them and stuff. But this was the one pay-per-view I felt like where maybe Vince stepped back and said, "Let Paulie do his thing." You know what I mean? And don't touch it, don't interfere. Let Paulie do his thing, because everybody was there. Yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of good moments in that pay-per-view, but that's the main event part of it. And as I told someone to comment on yours earlier, we ain't trying to cover whole pay-per-views. That's like a 3-hour thing, and we ain't trying to come here like that. It's our recap parts are always just like a small event thing, so it can't be like too crazy of an event. Like it can't be the whole World Series or something, or or something like that. At least we did it in different parts or something, but. That's what we'll cover next week, and it's been fun. As episode 2, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up now. Let's see. Baseball season starting to come to an end. Playoffs around the corner. We got All Out that's coming up. There's a few other little things that's going on. It's going to be interesting to see how, like I said, how this Vince McMahon stuff plays out. You still got a lot of trading going on, and NBA is shook up right now. The NFL is getting shook up right now. So we got lots and lots to talk about. And don't forget, we are less than 100 days from college football. So
Yes.
And that's what I can't wait for is the college football and college basketball season. That's what I wait for every year. So,
hey, man, I got notes tonight that I'll save for next week if we get into it, but all of them kind of relate. I will definitely save it because me and you have an obvious love for college football especially, but college sports in general. And
I sit here today, and I had a couple of other good recap ideas that come to mind that involve college basketball and college football, and I was like, oh, that would be good. Oh, that would be good. That would be good. So, especially if we start diving into some of the Duke, North Carolina stuff, or some of the Alabama and Auburn stuff, or any of that kind of stuff, that's all that's going to be cool to recap. So,
our intro, by the way, I want to say this before we go. It's so cool. I wanted to tell you that when we first started, but we usually get down to it as soon as it kicks off. Chris Davis, man. I forgot that was the last part. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And then I was like, I remember. So watching all that bring back some memories of like just how life was back then. But that's what it's what sports is to us. It's like a for better or for worse. And I think that's even in the intro.
Yeah.
We love
pretty much. It's a one big nostalgia feeling. That's what it's about. It's kind of the same reason we collect toys and watch wrestling and all kinds of other things we do. You know what I mean? So, everyone, you enjoy your night. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Y'all have a great night, and make sure to join us next week and continue to being a sports hound. Good night, everyone.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.